It's Wednesday. Wind it up Wednesday. It is rainy and not cold in North Carolina. I hope everybody's okay between the bad tornadoes and all that mess coming in. Woo, it's bad. Good news this morning. So I was up late last night because, for no good reason, just because I was. And was kind of punchy, drinking tea, and lo and behold, somebody tells me, which I'd missed, Dejanay Jackson was taken into federal custody yesterday. She is the person seen on the video who killed Shanquella Robinson. So she has been taken into custody, which is awesome. And I have that she's from North Carolina, but on her passport, it says she's from up north. It's kind of interesting, but who knows? So that is very good news. Very good news. And it's a start. I think it'll be really interesting to see if they decide to let her be extradited to Mexico, or if they decide to try her in the United States. Now, I said yesterday, there's a part of me that really would rather her be tried in the United States. So my husband is a criminal defense attorney, and he and I were talking about this last night. And I said, he said, well, why do you think that? And I said, no real reason other than I just feel like it seems like we're taking it seriously. An American goes to Mexico with another American and murders her. It's not really on the Mexican government to try the case, personally, but that's just my opinion. Hey, from Richlands, live in Pennsylvania. Nice to see you. Hey, Jesse, I know my subscribers are counting on me at 9. I'm running behind. Shocker. So anyway, but that's good news. And that's not, there's never anything good that how many trees do you have? Well, I have one real tree, and then the tree out on the porch is fake from the thrift shop. Mm-hmm. My daughter likes it. Anyway, there's never a good solution. But I think if you're the mama or the dad who's saying, I'm never going to have grandchildren, at least you can feel like somebody gives a rat's ass and arrest somebody for killing your child, where a few weeks ago the State Department is like, oh, no, there's no evidence of foul play. What? I struggle to understand people's brains. And I said to Thomas, I was like, I just don't understand why no one has been arrested. And you know what he said? It's because they're black. It's just not a high priority. That's the problem. I was like, that's what I've been saying. It's so rare that we agree on things. I was like, exactly. You've got some white dude from Santa Barbara that kills his children in Mexico, and they arrest him coming back into the country. And now this beautiful young woman is killed, and it's like, no problem. So I have not watched the Casey Anthony story, but I have a feeling when I do watch it, I might go through the roof. Hey, Robin. Because I read about it this morning. And Casey Anthony, so there's like a 3-episode series on Peacock where she is the biggest freaking liar on the planet. She lie. I'll just go ahead and say that. She's a liar. Sue me. Come get me, Casey Anthony. She says that her dad had been abusing her, and her dad hasn't spoken up. Like, why doesn't he speak up and be like, she's a nut, and I'm not going to take this? And her dad just says, oh, look, here's your daughter. She's dead. No. And I thought she was fine. I mean, I have never heard more bullshit in my life. Golly. I mean, This beautiful little girl. Yes, Tracy, that's what we just said. And you hate to watch something like that. Honestly, I hate to watch it. But then you feel like, I hope like some psychologists are watching it so they can like maybe commit her in New York, because now you don't have to agree to be committed. Whoever's in New York, go get Casey Anthony. Seriously, I'd like to submit some names. Your head will explode. Well, that's going to piss me off. Next week, my nurse comes, Nurse Gina, and I texted her this morning and said, have you watched that yet? And she was like, no. I was like, okay, good. We'll watch that next week while I'm getting my IB. Veronica, the only time black crime matters is when it's our men and related to drugs. It's always about money in the prison for profit construct. You know, Veronica, it's just, I've always known that minorities are seen as less than when it comes to law enforcement, in multiple ways. Like the kidnapping that I talk about, Anya Aguilar, who's Hispanic, and how her case just was not, it did not feel like a priority to me, particularly in the media, which is a whole nother layer of interest. I think at least Shanquella Robinson, people are now like, black influencers are the one that got her story out. And kudos to them, because the national news follows social media news, you know? And I think that's really important. Social media, people love to, man, it's so silly, la, la, la. I mean, of course I do it for a living. But it's very powerful, and it's really strong and helpful and amazing. Now, yes, it can be terrible and a time sucker, but it is, oh, Jamie just said Casey Anthony's dad did speak up and doesn't speak to her to this day. Well, I guess I want him to speak up now. I want him to be like, shh, bullshit-alone, Casey Anthony. And that criminal defense attorney, and I'm married to one, but I'm telling you, do you know how many criminal defense attorneys I have personally called or emailed because I'm so disgusted with them? Probably 3. I guess that's not that many. Legit. The first one I ever called was Josh. Do you remember Josh, who killed his wife in the snow and the little boys told her, and then he locked the social worker out of the house and killed his 2 sons with an axe? I reached out to his attorney and was like, it's your fault that they were killed. I just felt like I needed to say that. Casey's dad is the only one who said he believes she had a part in the death. He said she did the series for revenge. Well, I know damn well that Casey's mom thinks she did it. I heard her 911 call where she's saying, there smells like there's a freaking dead body in the trunk. So does her mother now pretend that didn't happen? These parents. Let me tell you a little tiny bit about parenting. The mother is the one that always tried to cover up. Well, she shouldn't have made that 911 call then. Are they still married? I'm not a huge fan of divorce, but you're done. Goodbye. You're burnt toast in the trash. Parents that like to defend children are a real problem for me. I'm just going to be the first to tell you, if my children do something terrible, I would turn them into the police. I'm really not kidding. And I also would not feel any guilt. I have tried really hard, and my husband has. We have tried to raise nice children. We have. If they turn out crappy, I'm not feeling any guilt. I mean, I am working hard at it. Seriously. I don't always know if what I'm doing is the right thing, but I'm sure as hell trying. Yeah. It's true. Yes, they're still married. Ugh. Well, I'd get rid of her. The other, and this is like news morning, the other thing that has happened is they've unsealed the document case. Do you remember when the 2 little girls were walking on the train tracks and they had the video of the person behind them. Well, they've made an arrest and unsealed the document. I'll let you watch it a minute. Hold on.
Two teenage girls in 2017, Libby and Abby. A determination that an unspent bullet found at this crime scene was cycled through Alan's gun. Alex Perez has that story for us and joins us here in the studio.
This dude is working at the CVS in the town.
We're learning how investigators zeroed in on suspect Richard Allen. Besides that bullet, authorities say a number of witnesses put Allen on the scene. This morning, stunning new details in the mysterious murders of two young girls in Delphi, Indiana. A judge Tuesday defying prosecutors' requests and unsealing court documents, revealing...
I would just like to say, I love a judge that does what they want to do. Now, I don't know why you shouldn't seal documents or unseal, but I'm just really glad that the judge did. But anyway.
Led police to charge Richard Allen with the 2017 killings of Libby German and Abby Williams.
He's been charged with 2 counts of murder.
According to the probable cause affidavit obtained by ABC News, investigators believe Allen is the man seen in this video, recovered from Libby's cell phone, and say the full video shows the man allegedly following the 8th graders on a bridge. One of the girls says gun. Then police say you hear the suspect's voice. Authorities say the girls do walk down a hill before the video ends. The affidavit also stating Libby and Abby's clothes were located in a nearby creek. And that when investigators carried out a search warrant at Allen's home, they seized boots, knives, and a .40 caliber gun that tests showed matched an unspent bullet found between the girls' remains. Their exact cause of death remains unclear.
Everybody's going to keep them in their minds forever.
According to that newly unsealed information, multiple witnesses placed a man resembling Allen near the Manon High Bridge where he allegedly encountered the girls just after 2 p.m. About 2 hours later, one woman told police she drove by a man on the side of the road who was wearing a blue-colored jacket, blue jeans, and was muddy and bloody. Allen's wife, the document says, confirming to authorities he owns a similar jacket. 50-year-old
Allen. So let's just go over this for a minute. You live in a tiny town, like where I live. You see the man walking in his clothes. You hear his voice. The police questioned him at the time. Would his wife not have said, that looks like my husband? And strange enough, it sounds like him too. He worked at the CVS and the picture was on the wall. Now, you know that I bet, Megan, we're just chit-chatting about news, crimey news. Yeah, the bullet between the girls' bodies went through his gun, and they said, how did that get there? And he was like, I don't know. Because you killed them. This is when I'd like to live in North Korea. I have no need for... I promise you I'm never going to be able to run for any office because I'm going to say things like this and then they're going to like play blips of it on that commercial. I was about to say, I have no need for justice. I like North Korea. No. I'm just kidding. It's not true. But I mean, there are certain times... I think we could all agree on that. Maybe not in this case, but do you remember the case, the Petites, the mother and her 2 daughters who were murdered in their house? They were set on fire and the dad got away. They were followed home by like 2 convicts. Like, I don't even see any reason to give them a trial. I think it was in New Hampshire. I mean, they've admitted that they did it. You caught them there. They raped 3 women, 2 children and a woman. No, you're dead to me. Like, I'm going to throw you, like, I almost think I would get an island, like the, I'm really not kidding. I would throw, like, I like Alcatraz. And I don't even know if I'd give people food. I mean, I might drop some, like, bags of rice or something, and they could figure out how to cook it and make a fire. But Connecticut, thank you, Amy. Yeah, and maybe that's not very Christian, but I don't know. I just am done. Much less if it were my family. I mean, the idea that these people don't like. I tell you, having lost a sibling, my 19-year-old brother, my only sibling, did you hear about the 2 boys from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, who killed and buried the bodies on the family property? You feel like the parents knew? I mean, parents, I'm ready to send some parents to prison. I'd like to send those laundries to prison. And I'd like to send that school shooter whose mother bought him the freaking gun. I'd like to send her ass to prison. She was having an affair and had horses, but was too busy to take that devil home from school. And then he managed to murder people after she left? No. Oh, okay. Cheshire, Connecticut. Trials were in New Haven. One got death sentence, and then the death penalty was overturned in Connecticut. Yeah, I have a real problem with that. Lori Vallow, I mean, yeah, maybe I'm gonna work on a list today and just where I'm gonna drop people off. I would be, just take my magic wand and be like, you're gone. No, they did. So anyway, I lost my only sibling to cancer. No one to blame, no one's fault, no one's nothing. And the hurt that goes with that, much less if you knew it was prevented. And I think Shanquella Robinson, you're thinking like, holy cow, do you watch Court TV? No, I don't. I don't think I have it. Thank goodness. It's hard enough for me to get stuff done in here. Working from home I'm a little teeny bit distracted. Oh, Josh Powell killed his 2 precious boys, said Debbie. Family knew the truth about everything, but they lied and covered it all up. They mostly have all died now, so we'll never what happened to his beautiful wife. You know, that Josh Powell thing, I remember in real time watching that, and he was like, yeah, my sons and I went camping in a blizzard. And that's why I reached out to his attorney. I was like, you knew that was a lie. And so my husband's a criminal defense attorney, and we believe that people, obviously, you have a right to a defense. But you know what? My husband doesn't have to be the person to defend them. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And our family is not going to be involved in cases like that. Much less, it's one thing if you're trying to get somebody not to have the death penalty, but that defense attorney argued the case. To me, he's partly responsible for those children being killed, you know? Yes, Yvonne, Shanquella Robinson's Dejanay Jackson was arrested yesterday, and I was watching this video of a nurse, and if you've seen the video where she was really beaten to death, she's beaten and she's sitting, and her legs are kind of splayed and her head is down, and this nurse was saying at that point she appeared to be already paralyzed. And so once you've been paralyzed, then she died a few hours later. We don't know why. The doctor didn't get her to the hospital. Did you call the FBI? Hell yeah, I called the FBI yesterday. I left a message. Nobody called me back. I called the FBI guy in Charlotte to say, what the hell is happening? When are y'all going to go arrest her? Make it a priority. Finally just got justice for the little boy here on Long Island whose father was a police officer. I saw that, Lori. And he froze to death. His own parents. You know, if you don't want your children, there's somebody else that does. And I realize children are tiring. But you know what? Go stay at a friend's for the night. Do something. You don't freeze your child to death. Is the Casey Anthony docuseries worth the watch? I don't know. I have not seen it yet. Is it snowing? Holy shit. What if it were snowing? It's raining. It's called Southern Snow. It rarely snows around here. We like rain. This is what it looks like in North Carolina in January and February. And evidently December. Yep. People move here in the spring. It's just beautiful. And now they come here and they say, I moved here and I said, oh, it's so windy and so dark at night. My sister died in 76 at the age of 21, and no one cared. My parents talked to the police in New Jersey, treated her like a number, died from a gunshot wound. Her fiance's brother was in the next room and never heard a thing. Came home and found her and called his mother, who straightened up the room. Police were called. Oh, Veronica. Oh, you're welcome, Bridget. She killed her kid. Oh, and got away with it. Oh, you mean with Casey, what's her name? Do you have heat yet? No, we don't have heat yet, and I'm not sure I'll ever need it again. I'm just going to wear a bunch of caftans. Please bring awareness to the case on Long Island with little Thomas. The Idaho, if we're talking crime this morning, the Idaho scenario is certainly unusual, with those 4 students being stabbed to death, and they still have not arrested anyone. And people are back at school. I wish we knew what in the devil was happening. Does anybody have any idea? You've lost so much weight. Let's see. Last year at this time, I weighed, well, I don't know what I weighed. I weighed 186 when I started. 186 when I started, and now I'm at like 154-ish. I did have a meatball sub from Subway the other day. It was good. Yeah, the Idaho thing, I would be a little nervous to have my children there at school, you know? Love your honesty, love following you. Well, yay. Come join my subscriber page. Kim, you would like it. It's fun. What is going on with these investors? Is it Idaho or Iowa? Well, isn't it Idaho? Did I just make that up? I slept 5 hours last night. So in our house, we all like to sleep together. We're basically like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And no, we're not. The dog, a cat, and our 9-year-old with autism was in the rollaway bed from the Roses, and all ended up in the bed at 5 o'clock because my husband was going running. Well, then Amos fell asleep at like 7 a.m. Which is time to get up and go to school. What is your history? Are you using social media for a platform? No, I'm not. No, yeah, I am. Isn't that what a blog is? I'm a smartass, Allison. Sorry. Yeah, I started this page about, what year is it? 2020. I think I started this in 2016. And my little fella didn't have a diagnosis. I knew he was different. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to start a blog. Sorry, I'm so itchy. So this cat hair. Of course, I'd never read a blog, but I was like, I'm going to start a blog. And my husband, I said, I'm going to start a blog. He was like, thinking she's going to do that for about 5 seconds. Well, I started writing, and I was like, kind of like this. Like I'm connecting with people. I don't know. It just gave me a place to put my thoughts. And anyway, yeah, it's become a job. I get paid to sit around and, shoot the shit, which is great. But it's awesome. I mean, I've connected with people. I have a really great, sorry, it's the psychologist calling me. Don't get me started on someone murdering, getting away with it. I live it every day with my husband. The investigator's not here. He was on his phone. We were trying to talk to him, actually. He was getting in the car Thursday. Oh, my friend Betsy. It's a big day for Betsy. Betsy Hicks. Now, you all know who Betsy Hicks is married to. Paul. The infamous Paul, who left us for greener pastures. But I think we're going to convince him to do a subscriber Edenton golf cart video, which I will say is a throwback to whatever last year was, some year. Maybe I will move to New Bern. Move to New Bern. Well, come on. I'm glad you found your blog. Man in South Carolina. I just cannot take all these. The trial started yesterday for Andy Banks in Raleigh. Oh. So Andy Banks was this, looked like somebody I went to college with. And he was selling his car and took it to meet these people. And they kidnapped him and murdered him for a car. I would also like to say I would like those people to get put on the island. Let your daughter see your writing. She has child with autism. Yes. I work for attorneys and love to hear your insight. I'm sure those attorneys are like, oh my God, that person is basically like Judge Judy on crack. Who else has a birthday today? Good morning from Monterey, California. It's 33 degrees. What? In California? I thought it was hot there. Well, I might rethink my needing heat. I've got to call the heat and air guy in a minute. Top of the morning to you. Hello, Caroline. I'm itchy. I hope I don't have lice. I tell you what, if you've ever had a child with lice in your house, you will never itch and not think about lice again. And it's been years, like 3 years. But I promise you, I itch and I go look in the mirror and look for bugs. Debutantes aren't supposed to talk about lice. It's kind of like how they call roaches palmetto bugs. Lice are just, they call them little nits. Just a little nit. Nothing. Just like a gnat. No, it's lice. Super lice. Yes, you never ever rent a ski helmet. No sirree, Bobby. Renting that ski helmet probably cost us $800 by the time we had the combs and the vamoose and the spray and the cream, and we slept in the grocery bags. I mean, it was bad times at our house. Yes, it was. I never wanted to hurt my children more than when they all had lice at the same time. Bugs, big, big bugs. Okay, carry on, people. I'm going over to the subscriber page. It's where my allegiance lies. $5 a month. Videos every day. Get your day started right. You can watch them later. You can even binge watch. Carrie has a lice removal salon. Carrie, I would like to do something with you. I'm one of 7 kids. We never had lice. We never had lice. I can't help that. I mean, what do you think? I got lice on purpose? Did somebody just ask how tall you are? 5'10". minus 5. 6. I'm also not good at math. I never broke 1,000 on the SAT, but I did get a PhD. Yes, sirree, Bobby. I did. From NC State. Kimmy, best comedic, is that how you say it? Well-informed commentary and honest approach from bridging the gap of historical facts about the South for both black and white Americans. Well, that is the nicest thing. I wish I could give you a subscription, but Facebook won't let me. Only Instagram will. Thank you, Kimmy. That is a really, I might have to put that, if I ever get my website up again, I would put that right up there at the top. I hope so. I try to have honest conversations. I think people don't like to talk about politics or race or disabilities or debutantes. It's like all these things make people really uncomfortable. So why don't we just talk about what we're feeling and what we're thinking so that we can bridge the gap between each other, right? Because we're really not that different. And I think we tend to look at each other and judge from their outsides. And you might say, well, she's a debutante. She has blonde hair. But then you say, well, her parents are Yankees. She didn't break 1,000 on the SAT. She weighs 186 pounds. She's got a child that says the F word with autism every 10 minutes. I mean, maybe she's not so bad after all, right? I mean, it's important that we get to know each other in a real way and say, oh, well, we're really a lot alike. Right? Anyway, I think that's important. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Carry on, my peoples. Have a good Wednesday. How did I sleep? Not long.